anyone else wants to share.
First, let's take a couple of questions, and our panel is here. Start in the back.
Yes, hi, my name is Michael Mulaney, and I'm wondering what everyone thinks about this new thing of people being labeled domestic terrorists, if they oppose federally funded abortion, or if they believe in the right to bear arms, or if they believe in limited government. And it's very troubling the way the direction of our country is going, and I'm wondering what you think about that.
Well, veterans.
Well, first of all, our Constitution is a document which is supposed to endure. And clearly our founding fathers set up a Bill of Rights to protect us. But the Bill of Rights, and make no mistake about this, ladies and gentlemen, the Bill of Rights do not give us rights. Okay? The Bill of Rights are inalienable rights that the founders said, hey, wait a minute, government down the road might not be smart enough to remember that. So we have to put it down to prevent them from being stupid somewhere down the road. Unfortunately, many of our politicians believe that it's scribed on a piece of paper and it's fixed. And it's simply rights that the Constitution gives to us. But that's not what the founders said. That those truths that are in the Bill of Rights are fundamental freedoms that exist because we are who we are, human beings. And those rights are simply spelled out to make sure the government remembers what they can't do. Remember, the Constitution exists to limit the power of government, not to allow the government to take powers it does not have.
It's natural law.
That's correct. John Locke, John Stuart Mill, people who fundamentally in the 17th and 18th centuries formulated the notions that our liberty is what is paramount, and that our government serves the ends of liberty. Thomas Jefferson, of course, reminded us that the tree of liberty must be watered from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants. But that's 1776 speech. So our tyrants in the United States Congress need to know that, and they need to be taken out of office.
It's not a living document?
A living, breathing document with parchment in four corners.
How you doing? Have you heard of Lyndon LaRouche's plan for bankruptcy protection for the American people?
Yes, that's Lyndon LaRouche. That's the libertarian, the libertarian manifesto, so to speak, of the policy.
He's saying that when the budget numbers come out in October, it's going to be horrendous. That the United States is dead broke.
Well, we know we're broke, right? Right now we're in a deficit situation where even if we stop paying every bill, if our government stopped paying every bill it pays today, in 10 years, we still will not have paid off the debt. So if population continues to be taxed as it is, the government takes on no more responsibilities, does nothing, shuts down its doors, and just spends its time paying back the debt. In 10 years, we still won't be there. That's a problem. That's a real problem.
My name is Steve Morris. I live in Rosslyn. Unfortunately, I live down the block from Gary Ackerman. I didn't want to come here tonight, but my wife insisted I would much rather be watching the Yankee game, but as usual, she's right, and I'm so glad I'm here. I'm a second-generation American. My parents were the first generation born here. My grandparents came here and could not speak a word or write a word of English. So when I got my degrees and I served during the Vietnam War as a payback because I love this country so much. That's how I was raised. After I came back here, I donated 1/2 a day a week, and I treated patients at Long Island Jewish Hospital who were either welfare or Medicaid patients. And I did that for free as just to give back because I was so lucky to be here. For the first time in my life, I don't understand what's going on. I am also a cancer survivor. I had cancer. I'm retired now. I'm a Medicare patient. I had the choice of being treated any place in the world. I chose Sloan Kettering and I'm cancer-free. But the story is that for the first time in my life, I'm being told that it's immoral what I'm doing to question certain stuff. The first time in my life, I'm told that it's un-American not to do what they're asking us to do. For the first time in my life, and with all my degrees, I'm told I'm just not smart enough to understand what they're doing. If only I would study the subject more. I came here tonight because my wife dragged me, and as usual, after 46 years of marriage, she's right. so happy that the First Amendment is still alive. I'm still so happy now. And I was so angry. I've been so angry for months now that I've been told that it's immoral to question them. So I just want to thank everybody who made me feel tonight that there's more of us than them. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Liz Burney, and I ran for Congress in 2008 against this fellow over here who has shown up tonight. And by the way, I went through the bill and to look at all the tax provisions and all the new taxes that we're going to be stuck with if the House bill goes through. And I have a summary of those, so if anybody did receive one of these on the way in, please see me afterwards, and I'd be happy to give it to you. It's really incredible that people are going to be taxed for not having acceptable health insurance. In 49 states right now, you have the freedom to decide if you want to spend your money on something else, trips to Las Vegas or your kid's education, to not buy a health insurance policy or to buy whatever type of health insurance policy you want. If the House bill passes, you're going to have to buy acceptable insurance or else your tax is imposed. There are all sorts of other taxes imposed by this bill. It's really remarkable. By the way, the one exception is Massachusetts, which is finally known as Taxachusetts. In Massachusetts now, if you don't have a plan that's acceptable to Massachusetts, you pay an additional tax. Unbelievable.
Wow. Have you seen the Wiener Amendment?
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's worse. You need to see that they have, they're going to tax everything. They're going to tax your medical care. They have additional taxes on top of everything. They're going to tax your Social Security. They're going to tax everything.
Right. Well, there's 6 taxes already in the House bill. Excise taxes on the health plans and so on. It's really remarkable, and I hope everybody will pick up a copy of
Every
this.
stock trade.
Who writes this stuff?
I know it's going to be a shock to everybody that the government's going to impose more taxes. I know it's hard to believe. But Liz, it looks like you've inspired some questions. So, Mr. Proceda?
Well, can I mention just one other thing? When I had a debate with Ackerman before the Newsday editors, it was in a room with 5 Newsday editors. I wish they had televised it to the whole public or brought the public in because the public should have seen it. And during that debate last October, he said that he is in favor of a single-payer system. And Newsday actually wrote that up, and they sort of were making fun of me for saying that Liz Burney this is what the Newsday said about the debate. On health care, Ackerman favors a single-payer approach that Liz Burney warns lead to a, quote, socialist system, end quote.
John Proceda, you had a question, or statement?
Dan, I just want to add to what you were saying about being broke. One of these things that I get upset about, because I don't think people are upset enough about the fact that we are broke.
Yeah.
Broke is broke. You know what we are? We're a guy who maxed out his credit card and has no job. We cannot pay off the national debt. Now, what does that mean?
Get rid of the Federal Reserve.
Absolutely.
Get rid of the Federal
That's one
Reserve.
thing. But there's another possible problem. It's called runaway inflation. You know what runaway inflation is, folks? I talked to the Germans about runaway inflation. It means that all of your money in the banks is worthless. What you saved your whole life is worthless.
That's the ultimate tax.
That's what's going to happen. The ultimate tax, runaway inflation. It'll destroy our country.
Lyndon LaRouche has a
And yet
plan.
our federal people are still spending by the trillions. I mean, are they nuts?
Yes.
Are they, where do we go? I mean, you have to keep this in mind. We are broke. Foreign governments do not want to lend this country any more money because they know we can't pay it back.
They believe in one
We're
world
broke.
government.
We're beggars. Think of it, America, the richest country in the world. And we've been driven to become beggars.